الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. When we discuss the life of Sayyidina Talha bin Ubaidullah radiyallahu anhu, then his life would not be complete without discussing the life of Sayyidina Zubair bin Awwam. The two of them were inseparable during their lifetime and even in their death. Sayyidina Talha was linked to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his ancestry. The common link was Qusay bin Kilab. And Sayyidina Zubair radiyallahu anhu was linked to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the common link was Ka'b bin Murrah. Sayyidina Zubair also had an extra privilege in the sense that his mother, Safiya, was the aunt of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was the daughter of Abdul Muttalib. And Zubair also went on to marry Sayyida Asma, who was the daughter of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Talha and Zubair will be my neighbors in Jannah. Sayyidina Zubair radiyallahu anhu accepted Islam at the initial stages, and he was just a young boy of 15. In fact, it is said that his father lost his life in a battle or some skirmishes that took place within the people of Mecca, and therefore he grew up as an orphan. He accepted Islam in the initial days, and he was within the first group of people to accept the deen of Islam. And he endured great difficulty as a result of that. Even though he was a young boy, it is mentioned that one day the news had spread that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been killed. Na'udhu billah. He was so perturbed by this that as a young boy he unsheathed his sword and he then marched into the gathering of the Quraysh, trying to find out what is the reality of this information, and going from one place to the other. And he said that if this is true, I will chop the Quraysh into pieces personally. Eventually he meets Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a mountain, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asks him, what is happening? And he says that the news has reached me that you had been killed, O Nabi of Allah, and with that rage I had come out. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam makes dua for him, and it was as a result of this that it is said he was the first person to draw his sword in the path of Allah. He had made hijrah twice to Abyssinia, and also while he lived in Mecca, his own uncle, Nawfal ibn Khuwaylid, who before Sayyidina Zayd had accepted Islam, was very concerned about his well-being. And when his mother was tough on him and hard in his tarbiyah and his upbringing, Nawfal would intercede on his behalf. But the moment Sayyidina Zubair had accepted Islam, then Nawfal had turned against him. What he would do is wrap him up in a carpet, and he would burn the ends of the carpet to create that smoke, and that smoke would then choke Sayyidina Zubair, and he had to endure that type of torture. When it was time for the hijrah, there were three individuals who were brazen and open. The rest was secretive. So most of the Sahaba secretly left Mecca and made the hijrah to Medina. But when it came to these three individuals, Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab, Sayyidina Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, and Sayyidina Zubair also radiyallahu anhum, these were those individuals who announced their hijrah openly and said that if anyone has a problem with that, try and stop me and you'll see what you will get. And nobody dared stop them. When it came to the battle of Badr, then the Muslimin only had 2 horses. And one of those horses, Sayyidina Zubair bin Awwam, was mounted on that horse. In fact, he was wearing a saffron colored turban. And when the angels came from the heavens, as was the dua of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the angels came wearing saffron colored turbans, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Sayyidina Zubair that the angels are emulating you. When it came to the battle of Uhud, there were various phases where the Muslims initially had the upper hand, then they were on the back foot, then there were moments of consolidation, and when the kuffar had left the battlefield, Then the kuffar wanted to come back again because they felt that we should have annihilated the Muslims entirely. At that moment, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sent Sayyidina Abu Bakr and Sayyidina Zubair with 70 other individuals from the army to pursue the kuffar. And that became a means of them, relinquishing and giving up that counter attack. So that was a pivotal role. Sayyidina Zubair remained loyal to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam throughout his life, and at critical moments like in the Battle of Hunain, when again the Muslims were rather impressed with their own numbers, and there was a counter attack which caught them by surprise, and they were left in chaos, running helter-skelter. Sayyidina Zubair bin Awwam remained very, very strong and firm alongside Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He lived through the Khilafah of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, and Sayyidina Uthman. And once he told Sayyidina Talha, who was his bosom buddy, that you tend to name your sons after the Anbiya, but I name my sons after the Shuhada. So I've named one Ja'far after Ja'far bin Abi Talib, who was martyred. I named the other one Abdullah after Abdullah bin Jahash, was also a martyr. I named the other one Hamza after Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, who was also a martyr. I named the other one Mus'ab after Mus'ab ibn Umair. I've given them these names in hope that they will also attain martyrdom. I've given them these names in hope that they will also attain martyrdom. And he was such that he never held any public office. He didn't want to be a governor over any province, nor was he a tax or zakat collector. The only position that he held, that he was a soldier for the sake of Allah. And it was before the decisive battle of Jamal where he spoke to his son Abdullah, and he said to him that my only worry at this time is my debt. Do we even worry about debt? As long as we can get away, we okay. He said, my only worry is my debt. And what would happen is that people would come leave money with him. He would trade with this money. And for some reason, there was a huge loss that had taken place. So he was concerned about this. So he told his son that if anything happens to me, then I want you to fulfill my debt. At any time you feel that there's no way out, then ask my Mawla. So the son Abdullah says, so who's your Mawla? So he said, Allah. Allah is my guardian. So at every instance, whenever the son was having difficulty in fulfilling the debt of his father, he would say, oh, the Mawla of Zubair, assist me at this point. And he says the help would come from the unseen. The battle of Jamal had taken place, and there was a wretched person who then took the life of Sayyidina Zubair radiyallahu anhu. His sword was laying on the ground. Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu came by and he saw this. And the person who had killed him thought that he did something great. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said that this is the sword that had defended Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and alleviated grief from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam on so many occasions. Sayyidina Ali wept at his grave for a long time. It was in the 32nd year after Hijrah that he passed away at the age of 60. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Inna likulli nabiyyin hawarin wa hawari az-Zubair. That every Nabi has a close disciple, and my disciple is none other than Zubair. May Allah increase our love and understanding about the Sahaba. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khairi khalqi Muhammad wa ala alihi sahbihi ajma'in.